All right. Hi, everybody. It's Mr. Harshman, and I want to talk to you guys today about the trip to Texas to view the solar eclipse. So it's built around that solar eclipse. Solar eclipse passes over a bunch of states in the United States, none very close to Florida. However, it does pass over Texas, and there were some exciting opportunities to do some great science type things, as well as other activities around the San Antonio area. So that is what we've built the trip around, doing all those types of things. And of course, the main event being viewing the solar eclipse in its entirety. Some of you may remember back in 2017, the last time the solar eclipse passed over. I was lucky enough to be able to travel into the totality, and it was just such a cool experience. I said, next time this happens, we have to take MAST. And it's a good thing we're doing it now because the next time it's passing over the United States will be in 2045. So we'll all be very much out of high school at that point. Maybe I'll even be out of high school at that point. So this is the last opportunity for a long time to experience something like this. And so we've partnered with Grand Classroom to build this trip, and with us for this talk today and to talk about all the cool stuff that we'll be doing and all the details about that is Emily Forrest. And so I'm going to hand it over to her for the rest of the presentation.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Hirschman. Yes, super excited. This is a really amazing opportunity. It's a great trip. So we're excited to bring it to life. Definitely a really, like I said, opportunity that you're not going to get in for another 20 plus years or so. So that's really exciting. So the dates for this trip are April 6th to 9th. So something important to note, make sure you mark those calendars down for that day or those dates. So just really quick, a little bit about Grand Classroom. So we're a student travel company. We've been coordinating outdoor education for students in schools for 20 years. So national parks, outdoor education is our niche and bread and butter. And we love creating customized trips like this one to be able to send students out and make some connections to their classes and really get them out of their comfort zone. So you can see we go all over the world. And we're excited about this Texas trip. So definitely wanting the students to have a great time, but wanting them to ultimately have a safe experience. So you will have a 24-hour Grand Classroom guide. So this is in addition to the chaperones that will be running the trip. They will meet you at baggage claim when you fly in, and then they will stay with the group 24/7 until the group checks in on their flight home. So they will be coordinating all of the logistics, leading a lot of the hikes, helping with setup for the eclipse and things of that nature. So they are the top resource for the group. But also we do have an emergency contact number. So this will be shared for you as your student is on the trip. So if you can't get in touch with your student or the group, that contact number will be available for you in case of any emergencies. Included in the trip cost is medical, dental, and liability insurances. So essentially supplemental insurance should anything happen on tour. Now we don't expect it to, but your student is fully covered should anything happen. And then another benefit, as long as there's availability out in Texas, we do offer overnight security. So depending on the area and the availability, we do offer that. But typically the group is exhausted. The days are super long. So we don't have any issues with students leaving the room after lights out. So student health, just kind of continuing into safety and health. So any medical conditions, dietary concerns, allergies, we will ask for you to complete some medical forms and a behavior contract for your student to sign. What we do is we reach out to our vendors so we can make sure that your student can eat. That's one of the most important things on the trip. And then if your student has any medications, that's something that will be handled directly through the school. So as the trip gets closer, Mr. Hirschman and the other teachers will touch base to help coordinate that if needed. So what are some benefits of student travel? So it gets the students out of the classroom, provides that adventure and builds confidence. Some of the activities, they may get an opportunity to showcase some leadership, some of their knowledge, things they've learned over the years. getting them away from mom and dad if they've never traveled out of state or flown or at a hotel without parents. So that's a really great opportunity for them, especially as they're getting ready to go to college in the next couple years. Creating new friendships. So students who they may not be able to interact with very often in classes, they'll be able to create lifelong friendships and memories. Obviously, the education outside the classroom, bestowing stewardship. So it's getting to see some different state parks, protected areas in Texas, understanding the history of our country and the state. And so, just creating some stewardship and some care for the environment and for protecting it. So some trip highlights. So the trip is super jam-packed with a lot of activities. These are kind of just some highlights, may not be in the exact order of the days. But one of the parks that the group is going to visit and do a little bit of hiking is Enchanted Rock State Park. So there's some really incredible views of Texas, some that you may not expect to see out there. So they'll be doing some hiking, also going into San Antonio, exploring the Market Historic Square, having some time there. Also having the opportunity to go down the famous Riverwalk on a boat ride, as well as touring the Alamo, seeing some sights, seeing some more history in the Revolution, and then having a really fun evening experience where the group will do some country line dancing, which definitely gets some students out of their comfort zone, try something new, and it's a lot of fun. So some more fun activities. So one of the evenings, the group will go night kayaking. So there's some LED kayak boats that the groups will be 2 per kayak. A really nice little experience for the group to have one of the nights. Then they'll also do horseback riding. So it's definitely a high energy, high level trip as far as hiking and outdoors activities. And then the highlight, of course, the reason we're going is for the solar eclipse. So you can see this cool little diagram where you can see that it is going right over Texas. So that 2024 line. And it will be again, not again until 2045. So that's super exciting. And you can see it's going to be going right over where the group's going to be staying. So some more outdoor activities, super fun, high ropes course, zip lining adventure, getting a nice guided tour of the natural bridge caverns. So really seeing some of the natural wonders that are over there and some different ecosystems. So some frequently asked questions getting into the trip itself, what's included. So it is all inclusive. So we say your student could travel with a penny in their pocket, come back and have had a great time, fed all the activities, stay. They're absolutely exhausted when we bring them home to you. Spending money, there will be some opportunities where they may stop for snacks or some souvenir gift shops, or when they're at the Market Square, for an example. And then an optional tip, if you would like to provide one for your grand classroom guide, that's something that you can coordinate with Mr. Harshman as the trip gets a little bit closer. The rooming situation, students will stay 4 to a room. That's another thing that'll get decided by the teachers as the trip gets a little bit closer, but they'll have the opportunity to request roommates. And the school usually does the best they can to accommodate those requests. And then forms that will be asked to fill out. So I mentioned already that there's a medical form, the behavior contract for your student, but there will be additional liability waivers. So for the horseback riding, the zip lines, possibly the kayaking. So those activities may have a liability waiver. Prior to departure, you will get a parent pack, which will have your detailed itinerary that will include the packing list as well as these liability waivers. So you'll have an opportunity to complete those and turn them into the teachers before departure. So how to register for the trip. So if you visit our website at grandclassroom.com, search for the school name and the school state, you'll be taken to a registration page where you'll be able to submit your deposit and then set up customized payment plans. What's great with the payment plans is that they will automatically have a drop-down option for you to set up equal installments. If you need something more customized, we are able to offer that for you as long as it doesn't go past the final payment date. So you can touch base with us if you need any additional payment options or payment plans. Some trip protection. So we do offer 2 different levels of additional trip protection if you feel that you may need to cancel for any reason. There is the Travel Refund Program Plus, which is our top tier cancellation program. It does include cancellation up until 24 hours prior. Our Travel Refund Program, or our TRP, is 7 days prior to travel. You can see more on our terms and conditions. It will let you know also when you register what is non-refundable as part of the travel refund program, but you do, if you need to utilize it, get the majority of your trip cost and refunded. So that is everything. If you have questions, encourage you to reach out to Mr. Harshman or myself. If you have any general questions as far as accounting or registration, that phone number goes to our Grand Classroom Direct office. So you can reach out during business hours. They can assist you, but if you have any school-specific questions for your student, for the trip, anything for dietary or medical concerns, you'll want to reach out to myself and Mr. Harshman directly. We'll be able to assist you in that. But otherwise, I'm going to pass it back off to Mr. Harshman. If you have any questions after you look through this or as you go through the registration process, definitely reach out.
All right, so yeah, it sounds like an awesome trip. I really hope we get the number of people we need to get going on it. We need about 30 people registered in order to take this trip. So hopefully we get that done. We have, I believe, set up until November 5th. Is that correct? Was that our deadline on there? All right.
Yes.
So we have until November 5th. And I have confirmed with Emily that if for some reason we can't get up to that number, that the deposit you put down will be paid back if we decide to cancel the trip, just minus whatever the credit card processing fee was. So go ahead and sign up, and let's get this thing going, and be excited to get this trip going. All right. Thank you all.
Thank you. Super excited.